Hi, my name is Brooke Hagerty. Welcome to today's episode of For the Love of Food. Last week we met Carrie Hoff, my good friend who is a yoga instructor and nutrition and wellness coach. And we talked about one of the soups that I had made for a recent wine dinner we hosted together, and that was my celery and onion soup. So it's a quick soup, very easy to make, about 15 minutes long. It is not only is it good for the wallet, it is good for the waistline. One thing Carrie talked about with the celery was that celery is a negative calorie food. It's loaded with fiber and low on calories, so it fills you up, but doesn't take a lot of calories to do that. So it's a negative calorie, so that paired with the onion that's going to be in there, you're almost burning more calories making it and digesting it than what's in it. So this is a great soup. So let's go ahead and get started with this. We're going to take some celery. As I said, it's celery and onion soup. So I've got some celery. I've got a beautiful sweet Vidalia onion. If you don't have a Vidalia onion, use a sweet white onion, sweet yellow onion, or if you don't have that, just use whatever onion you have. It's fine. We're also going to add some fresh garlic in that. I'm just going to mince that up. I'm going to keep it in pretty big chunks. It's going to be nice. We're going to season it up with my two favorites, lemon pepper and truffle salt. And then we're going to add some garden herb seasoning. I've used this garden herb seasoning before. This is a great seasoning. It is salt-free and MSG-free. So we'll talk more about that as our soup is cooking. I'm just going to go ahead. I want this to be a hearty and robust soup. So I'm going to keep my celery whole, and I'm just going to cut some big pieces down. So nice big dice. That way our body is taking in a lot of food. Nice big bites. We're sort of mimicking a big, I don't want to say a large piece of meat, but we're getting a big bite in there. So we're not thinking that we're eating a small little diet food. We're eating something that's actually got a lot of weight to it. So let's go ahead and get our celery in our pot. And I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn it on a medium high. I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil. I'm going to use a little avocado oil in here today, just to get that started. So we'll get that on medium high while I go ahead and use my onion. As you see, I'm using about a half a head of celery. I'm going to use one onion. Get my onion going here. This is going to be a relatively quick soup. As I said, about 15 minutes once it's in the pot to cook completely. But as it's cooking, our celery's going now. You'll see time's going to go by pretty quickly. So my onion, I'm just going to take my onion. I'm actually going to do my onion down in long, thin slices. So I cut it in half. I'm going to add a second texture to this soup by having the long, thin strips to go with our celery dice that's a little bit chunkier. So we're going to add some extra texture in there as well. I can hear I've got a little sizzle going with my celery right now. There's a lot of flavor in that celery. And again, that avocado oil, we've talked about that before. It's great for not just sauteing, but if you want to if you want to pan fry something, it's got a high heat burn at 500 degrees. Not that we're going to get up to 500 degrees, but sometimes you might get 350, 400 frying things. And speaking of avocado oil and frying things, soon in about a month we're going to be doing a fried avocado. So I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so I've got our celery in here and our onion. They're going to sweat down together. As you can see, it's a very, very pretty soup as well. The nice green, the white, and always remembering and being mindful, as we learned from Carrie Hoff, mindful that we eat with our eyes first. I'm not sure Carrie and I talked about that last week, but that is something that's important. We do eat with our eyes first, so we want our food to be pretty. So we're going to put a cover on here. Let that sweat down a little bit. I'm going to add just a couple of cloves of fresh garlic. A couple of cloves of fresh garlic here. And I'm just going to, I'm just going to slice them down real quick. I'm even doing 2 at a time here. And then I'm gonna take and do a chop on them, a rough chop when they're all together. Because I want to taste my garlic. I want to see it. I like to see everything that's going to go into my soup. Now, when I originally have made this soup before, I just used, my main ingredients are the onion, the celery, and of course the garlic that I'm chopping up now. But today we're going to be adding a little extra zing to it. We're going to add a little extra color. We're going to add some fresh parsley, and we're going to add some lemon zest. I love lemon. I talk about it often. That lemon doesn't mask the flavor of food. It only enhances what's already there. So what this is going to do today, it's actually going to add a really nice brightness to our soup. And then while our soup is cooking, we're going to talk about some things that if you want some protein, if you want a little extra gumption, things that you can add to it that's going to give you a little bit more, a little more weight. So look at that. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. That is so pretty. I'm just going to add my garlic right in here. Again, using one of my favorite kitchen tools. That is my flexible cutting board. Awesome. So this has already got great flavor. Smells wonderful. I'm going to season this up a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit of truffle salt, just a little bit, because we're going to be adding some vegetable stock to this. If you don't want to keep this as a vegan or a vegetarian dish, you can always use chicken stock or beef stock. And we're going to talk about some different options. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon pepper. And then the garden herb seasoning that we talked about. This is a beautiful seasoning. I love this. You can see the big chunks, big flecks of flavor in there. There's dried garlic in there. There's dried peppers. There's there's black pepper in there. There's all kinds of things. The red peppers, I think, give it a little extra zing. So it does provide a little bit of heat to it without adding a hot sauce. So let's go ahead and let this cook down. It cooks down rather quickly. Again, our main ingredient being the celery here. I don't like to cook this too long either because I like the crunch of that celery. We talk about eating with colors and, eating with your eyes first. I also like texture. I like crunch. I like to feel what's going into my mouth. So this is going to go on here for about 2 to 3 minutes and just let it sweat down a little bit. Then we're going to add some organic vegetable stock. I highly recommend keeping this box stock in your house if you don't have time to make your own stocks, which can take a lot of time and be costly, to be honest with you. You can pick up these box stocks. They have a nice long shelf life. You can keep them in your cabinet. And then once you open them, they need to be refrigerated. So this one I just pulled out of my refrigerator because I used it a little bit the other day. So this is going to be a vegan base today. I'm going to clean up my counter a little bit here and my stovetop because I've got a little bit of things going crazy. I like to cook in a nice clean area as well. Again, that's another thing too that goes with that mindful eating. Watching what you're doing, seeing how it's cooking, seeing what you're creating to make a great food. Okay, so we've been sweating down now for about 2 to 3 minutes. It smells delicious, and I keep losing my little soldiers here. It smells delicious. It looks fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some vegetable broth to this. So we've got our vegetable broth. Again, if you want to use a chicken broth or a beef broth. One of the things I was talking about that we can add things to this. While today we're going to be adding the celery and the lemon for a little bit extra. You can put chicken in this. I actually have some leftover chicken in here that if you want to add, put some chicken in there. This is a chicken thigh. If you've got some beef left over or some ground beef, put it in there. Add a little bit extra. I'm going to turn my heat up. I'm going to put my lid on. That's going to go there. So I've got here, talking about adding, I've got a chicken thigh here, a leftover chicken thigh. If I wanted to add that to this, I can do that. That's not a problem. Cooking is subjective. Eat what feels good to you. Eat what your body is asking for. Today, my body is asking for some parsley and some lemon to go in this. So I've got some gorgeous fresh parsley. I'm just going to pull a couple of leaves off from here. This is going to add a great color to our dish. And again, being mindful of eating with our eyes first. If you can't tell, I've got a little bit of a girl crush on Carrie Hoff. She has really helped change my approach to the way I'm eating, when I'm eating, and how I'm eating, because it is very important that we take care of our body from the inside out. Because if we're not taking care of our body from the inside out, then we're not going to be able to be productive in the outside world. And I've had a heck of a 2016 and 17 emotionally, physically, and these are things that are helping me to get my life back on track. And I really appreciate that. As I also appreciate the Community Media Center, who helps to bring this show to you every week. Chris, my camera guy. Now we've got Mark in with us. So production is good, and it's about being mindful and helping one another. It's about eating properly and making the right things happen. And I think that's what we're going to do here today with this awesome meal. So I've got some parsley here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to zest a little bit of lemon right down on top of my parsley. You see we've got a nice yellow there. Again, we don't want to go past the white. The white is the pith, P-I-T-H, and that's going to be very, very bitter. And we don't want bitter, we want better. I always say in life, especially with the year I've had, we have two choices. We can get bitter or we can get better. Guess what? I'm choosing to get better. And my better is starting with this awesome soup today. So look at this. We've got a nice boil there. I'm going to put my lid over here. We've got a nice boil. I'm going to stir this up. Oh, it is such a pretty, pretty soup. Let me have a little taste. It's so good. I'm going to add a little more salt to this. Again, I'm using my truffle salt. I love that truffle salt. You can use your favorite salt, whatever you feel comfortable with. Turn my heat down just a little bit. I'm going to add my lemon zest and parsley in here, and wait till you see how bright that color is going to get. Look at that. Is that not pretty? Oh, wow. Okay. I think we're ready to go. We've got a nice boil. My celery is going to be nice and crisp, crunchy. My onion has sweated down more than enough. And we are going to get this ready to go into our tummies. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. We can take a little extra parsley if we want. A little parsley right down there. A little bit more lemon zest for that additional pop of color. And let's have a little bite. Ooh! It's hot, it's delicious, it's flavorful, and according to our dear friend Carrie Hoff, this is a nearly negative calorie soup, burning as many calories almost to make it as the calories that are in it. My name is Brooke Hagerty. I'm the Food Chick. Thanks for joining me today.